Hello and welcome to another episode of the Lead More podcast, the show where we sit down with leaders to try and extract the thing they know best to take their superpower and help frame it or package it or teach it in a way that other leaders, other entrepreneurs, other CEOs, founders, business leaders, nonprofit directors can take it and apply to their life or their business. So I believe the world needs more leaders. I also believe that you are a leader and we need you to become a leader and to be the next one, to pass the baton, to send the elevator back down and to step up when called upon. And so this show is all about helping you, equip you, giving you the tools to help you become that person. I think you already are that person and you're always in progress to becoming that person. And so today I'm going to do a solo episode, a little bit about a sort of documenting the journey of something that I'm going on this year here in 2024. So this episode, I want to tell you about one of my goals for the year. And I want to start by explaining the concept of a misogi. If you've ever heard of the word misogi, it's a Japanese word. To paraphrase a little bit, it means like putting one event or putting something on the calendar that sort of defines the year. So this one thing in your calendar year, you can put it on the event and really you are working toward it. It's building up, it's the anticipation, it's the preparation, it's the execution of this one thing on your calendar can really define your calendar year. So I've tried to have a misogi every year for a few years. First learned this concept from Jesse Itzler, the entrepreneur and author. So the first time I had a misogi, I'm trying to think, I think it was in 2021, I believe it was in 2021. And my misogi was I did an event called 29029. And Jesse runs this event, which is how I heard about it. And I went to Utah, just outside of Salt Lake. And 29029, we've talked about on the podcast, represents the amount of elevation, amount of feet of Mount Everest, the highest point in the world, right? And so over the course of going up and down a ski hill 13 times, I had to hike 29,029 feet. The event, that's what the event is called, 29029 Everesting. And it's a 36-hour event. I did it in about 25 hours. It was a big misogi. It required training. It required hiking training, different than what I'm used to, just like running. So I've done that as misogi. I've done 75 hard in 2022. Last year in 2023, I ran the 437 Project, which is a run across South Dakota to raise money and awareness for mental health and suicide prevention. Doing that again this year, next month actually, but couldn't make that my misogi 2 years in a row. If I've already done it, now I know I can do it again. So this year, 2024, the misogi was to work out every single day, at least 30 minutes of exercise every single day, 366 days, because yes, it's a leap year, regardless, rain or shine, home in Sioux Falls or traveling on the road, feeling great or feeling sick. Every single day, show up for yourself, sweat every day, and exercise 366. So that's the misogi. And a few months ago, a friend of mine asked, how's that going? And I kind of paused because I hadn't really thought about it. The answer is good. It's still going. Today is day 227 as of this recording. What are we on? Wednesday, August 14th, day 227 of the year. Every single day. Checked them off. And I was planning on thinking about it at the end when I was done, say January of 25. But I decided to take this time here in August, not quite 2/3, but just over half of the year, and think about what I've learned so far and sort of document the journey, which I'd like to talk about. So that's the goal for the year. And here is what I've learned. And I have 5 things that I want to share that I've learned by doing this goal, by pursuing this goal and doing this process. So mid-year check-in, what have I learned by exercising 30 minutes every single day? Number 1, don't break the chain, right? You've maybe heard the famous story. Comedian Jerry Seinfeld in his heyday was asked, like, how do you do what you do? How do you get to the level that you're at? How do you become best in the world at writing jokes? And his response was, I try to write a joke every single day and just don't break the chain. He would go on a calendar, write a joke and mark it off. Could be one joke, might be average, Could be several jokes and they might be great. But every day he was going to write a joke. And he told himself, don't break the chain. Just mark the calendar day after day after day. So my first lesson is don't break the chain is real. It works. It's sort of this, I call it the snowball effect. And it's this idea that like, it's almost like compound interest, right? This kind of invisible force takes over, and it just starts to snowball. It starts to just roll, and it becomes bigger than you. It becomes faster than you, and it's this momentum, sort of constant tailwind pushing you forward. Now you have to show up. It still takes 30 minutes. It took me 30 minutes on January 1st. Still takes me 30 minutes today. But it just feels like there's this hidden momentum behind you. That's the snowball effect. And it's really powerful. I have no doubt in my mind. I almost didn't want to make the context. I don't want to jinx myself, but I really have no doubt in my mind I'm going to finish this goal. And it's because of this sort of snowball effect. Don't break the chain. So that's my first lesson. I don't know how many days it takes to create a habit. It seems like the science there is pretty debated. You hear 21 days because it sounds good. A lot of science says that's not necessarily true. I've heard 60 days, 30 days. But exercising every day is now a habit of mine. I'm just going to do it every day. I have to. Second lesson is that discipline really compounds. And what I mean by that is, this is what I was hoping for, is you can take the discipline you acquire from a physical goal, like exercising every day, and transfer that discipline to other aspects of your life, i.e. business, entrepreneurship, leadership, family, personal life, whatever it might be. So discipline compounds, but it also transfers to other aspects of your life. And you become the type of person, the type of person who exercises every day is the type of person who also shows up every day for their company, or makes a sales call every day, or sends the email, or has the one-on-one, whatever your goal task is. And so why I like fitness is we just get tighter feedback loops, right? Sometimes a business can be slow. Like a quarter worth of data is still 90 days. And sometimes that's not enough. We need, because that could just be a season, a busy season or a slow season. We might need multiple quarters. We might even need multiple years of data and analysis before we can definitively say one thing or the other. Fitness, we get a lot tighter loops, whether it be trying to lose weight or trying to reduce your resting heart rate, or whatever the goal is. You get a lot of data, a lot of numbers, and we can get a tighter feedback loop thanks to that. So discipline compounds. Whatever your goal is, take that, acquire that discipline, transfer it to other aspects of your life that you need it in. Number 3, find friends. It's pretty easy. Social accountability, group accountability. Find friends, share your goals, find friends, and go on the journey together. If you have the same goal, even better. If you follow me on Instagram, I post nearly every single day about my workouts. I'm sure people who follow me are sick of it. But guess what? It's not for you. It's for me. I share it. And I have a friend. His name's Chris. He's been on this podcast, Chris Pieta, who's doing the exact same thing. And every day he posts. And I know that he sees my post. And I know that I see his post. And days that he works out before me, I take note. And hopefully some days that I post before him, he takes note. And it's just a little nudge. It's a little push. It's a little reminder that somebody else out there has the same goal as you. Somebody else out there is on your same journey, walking in your shoes. That's super powerful. So the more friends you can get behind you, potentially supporting you, but even better if they're on the journey with you, the better. And finding friends can help you. Number 4, I didn't come up with this, of course, but you've heard the saying, variety is the spice of life, right? I think it's true. So my goal was specific: exercise every day, 366 days for 30 minutes specific, but it didn't say what. And I can tell you, but most of those have been running. Second most would probably be lifting weights. Third most, probably riding a bike. That could be second most, but those would be the top 3 for sure. But then this year I have played pickleball. I have swam in the open water, swam in a pool. I've walked. I played basketball. I played soccer again. I did like a core kind of like HIIT workout. I'm trying to think of some others that I probably did. I didn't play tennis, but I know I'm forgetting a couple. But I've done at least, I know, 10 different, probably almost 12 different exercises or activities to accomplish this goal. And it's been fun. Like, I just know I have to do something every day. I'm not like on this 366 day plan or workout regiment. I just want to exercise. I want to break a sweat, stay healthy. And it's been fun. So variety is the spice of life. And if there's something that you're doing, sometimes discipline tends to sound boring, like discipline and plain, or discipline and monotonous seem to be close together often. Doesn't have to be that way. Find some variety, change it up, mix it up, and still keep the discipline. All right, and number 5, I said it earlier, document the journey. I teach this and coach this with entrepreneurs. You don't have to create content. You just document content. Talk about what you're doing. Because what happens, this magical thing happens, and it just happened to me yesterday. I was at the Turner County Fair. It's a tradition here with my family every year in August, the best 4 days of summer, they call it. We were at the Turner County Fair. I ran into a friend. It's probably about 6:30 p.m. He said, "Hey, John, have you worked out yet today?" He asked me that. Ran into him at the food booth. And to be honest, the answer was no. I came back and did it in the evening because, yes, just a busy day yesterday. I didn't wake up early enough. But I love that. Like, someone I hadn't seen in months follows me apparently and said, "Did you work out today?" So it's become this thing. And he sort of checked in on me. And so a couple of things happen when you document the journey. One, sort of keeps me accountable, right? Because I now feels like the streak is more public and I have to stick to it because other people are expecting me to. And I've set that expectation. I've set that standard for myself. But 2, and I said this earlier, I post for myself, not for you. But if by chance, downstream or a byproduct of this, somebody else gets inspired, or somebody else decides to follow that journey, or someone else decides to create their own misogi or their own goal, like, how cool is that? It's awesome, right? And it creates this kind of waterfall, or again, a snowball effect of momentum for other people. So I know I've had direct messages. I've had a few emails, some texts this year of people who, in their own way, a friend of mine started going on evening walks with his son, his like 11-year-old son. So it's been amazing. They were doing it for a couple of weeks straight. It wasn't about the exercise, right? It was about the discussion, about the one-on-one time, about getting outside. And like, that was so awesome. That alone was worth posting about my journey on social media to maybe inspire somebody. But again, it's for me. It's the accountability for me. So document the journey. Document, don't create. All right. So that is what I've been learning this year through this process, 27 days into the year. The 5 things: don't break the chain, discipline compounds and transfers, find friends, variety is the spice of life, and document the journey. I wanted to take some time. I think that discipline is one of the key characteristics for successful leaders, successful entrepreneurs, successful business owners. One of the quickest ways to elevate your leadership game is to establish your discipline, right? Atomic Habits, great book by James Clear. They say you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your standards. And to me, standards is discipline. Your discipline sets your standards. Your discipline maintains your standard. So figure out how every year, every quarter, every month, maybe every week, you can just slowly raise the standard. This year, the standard for me is exercising every day. I'm happy to report it's going well, and I can't wait to report at the end of the year. All right, Lead More friends, thank you so much for listening to this episode. As always, we drop episodes every Thursday. Sometimes they're in podcast form. Sometimes they're in my video form, but you can watch all of these episodes on video on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/JohnTMeyer_. You can subscribe, or you can listen to the podcast version wherever you subscribe to podcasts. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. Find us there and click subscribe. As always, friends, take care and be well.